sex or hanging upside down on trapezes, though I've only heard tell about the trapezes. My favorite of these many words is queef. I think it sounds French, but when I shared that word with my sister Rachel, she told me she threw up a little in her mouth. I find the word cute, so cute in fact, that while others figure out their drag queen names by pairing the name of their first pet with the name of their childhood home's road, mine being Mitzi Rosemary, I prefer the drag queen name Queef Latina. Admittedly, I have spent far too much time thinking about it. I made it through the hot yoga class with only a few beads of sweat to show for it. There were some poses that were challenging, and I'm sure I benefited from the class. It was no Bikram, but it was a hell of a lot better than sitting at home eating chocolate. I figured I'd give it another go, and in the meantime, I'm determined to do more Kegels. Since that time, unemployment struck, gym membership was canceled, and hot yoga abandoned for the time being. Luckily, I need not gym membership nor personal trainer to do Kegel exercises. I'm doing them right now. I was doing Kegels when Laptop Man at the coffee shop caught whatever expression one makes when contracting pelvic floor muscles. Perhaps he thought I was passing wind. There's that split second for reaction when I could have either accepted his invitation and held his gaze, or looked away quickly and pretended to do something infinitely more important than engage in conversation. I missed my chance and the door was wide open. How old? He asked me, referring to Levi. He's 2. God bless him. Suddenly, I regretted not having looked away. I'm always uncomfortable when strangers invoke God's blessing upon my children. I know it's said with the best of intentions, but it gives me the creeps. Aside from the fact that my belief in God sways from I'm not sure to as if, I automatically assume that anyone blessing my children is a God-fearing political conservative who hates gays. I've been proved wrong, of course, but I have been a gay for long enough to know to keep my cement walls up, just in case he starts shooting spears of ignorance at me and I have to Indiana Jones it right out of there. I've got 5 kids, he informs me, but they're grown now, such a blessing. Do you have any more? I've got a 5-year-old who's in school right now. Any plans to have a 3rd, he asked. He has no idea what a loaded question it is. I think to myself, a 3rd? Sure, if we have another wild, drunken night where we just get stupid and sloppy and I accidentally slip and fall, legs akimbo, on a syringe of semen. I don't mean it. We've been contemplating a 3rd ever since Levi was born. I wasn't actually sure that I wanted another, but I knew that it would take ages to sell it into Gabriella. I had to start then, even though it was the furthest thing from my mind. I knew I could do it. You can't take the sales girl out of this girl. When I met Gabriella, she was Catholic, straight, and she didn't think gay people should have children. Now she's Jewish, gay, and she's mommy to our 2 kids. I'm that good. Gabriella is now totally on board to have a 3 if I want to go there, so the ball is in my court. On paper, there's no reason to do it again. We'd be outnumbered. We'd need more space. We'd have to sell internal organs to send them to college. And I'm running out of biblical names that connect my children to our people, but that don't sound too Amish. I only have the Old Testament as a source. My people don't do sequels. There's also the girl factor. When people ask me if I want to go for that girl, I shudder. I come from a long line of dysfunctional mother-daughter relationships, and I'd rather break the curse and produce only boys. We also have to consider that we're both old. Well, Gabriella is old. I'm mature. I'm 40. Turning 40 was no big deal for me. As a matter of fact, I couldn't wait to turn 40 because I knew we'd be celebrating for days, weeks as it turned out. I never experienced the 40 freak out, never got depressed about all the things I haven't done yet. Gray hairs don't bother me no matter where I find them. But when I realized that those 2 large freckles on my hands were actually age spots, I started researching long-term health care insurance. One on each hand, brown splotches advertising to the world that I'm old enough to be a grandmother, in Palin country anyway. Every time I catch sight of them, I rethink this whole baby thing. Because getting knocked up is not a matter of carelessness for us, we really have to want it. While the clock ticks, we have not yet given away any of our baby clothes, and we have met with a doctor or two just to talk. We're going through the motions as if we're driving in a high-speed game of chicken. We either tear down the road until my vagina collides with a vial of sperm, or we suddenly come to our senses and veer off that road just in the nick of time, sparing us from falling pregnant with our twin daughters Zilpah and Bathsheba. Laptop man waits patiently for my reply. No, I don't think there will be another one. We're good with the ones we've got. He's a fine boy, he says. I can tell these things. I'm a retired special education teacher, and I've been around a lot of kids. I hear one of my cement walls come crashing to the ground. A special education teacher? Maybe he's the good Christian type of God lover, the one who actually loves and forgives and doesn't judge. What do you do, he asked. I'm at home with the boys. Greatest job there is. Raising kids, that's tough. I was home with the kids for a little while. My wife is a nurse, and she was earning for the whole family when I was in between jobs. A nurse? There goes another wall. He's good people. I'm retired now, and I spend most days playing music in a band and teaching kids how to play guitar. Oh, I said, my older son really wants to learn how to play guitar. We'll wait a couple of years, and if he's still interested, he'll take lessons. Let me give you my card. Keep it until the time is right. In the meantime, you can catch me and my band playing at the pub in town. We play Irish folk music every Sunday afternoon. Do you teach Irish folk music to your guitar students, I asked? No, says Laptop Man. The kids love taking lessons from me because they learn to play all the current music. And I insist they learn some of the classics, too. They've got to learn all the greats. And do you know who's the greatest? Queen. That Freddie Mercury was one of the most talented artists the world has ever known. I don't care that he was kind of a flamer. That man was a genius, you know. It's thanks to Freddie Mercury that I learned to accept everyone. When I found out, you know, that he was gay, I thought, who cares? That guy's amazing and nothing else should matter. And that's why I love this town, you know? All kinds of people living here together, accepting each other for who they are. I know what you mean, I said. We're two moms, and we're very happy here. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that that man launched himself out of his seat, throwing his hands in the air as if he had just won the lottery. Fantastic! That's great! I'm so happy to meet you, and I'm so happy that you live here. I certainly wasn't expecting that kind of reaction, and I couldn't prevent the smile that stretched across my face. It's not every day that you get a standing ovation for being gay. I hope it's not the last time. It felt pretty damn good. And meeting the Laptop Man in my neighborhood coffee shop felt pretty damn good too. The suburbs definitely don't suck today. Thank you.
I'd give you a standing ovation if I wasn't already standing. Thanks, that was great. We have one or two seats, I think. Maybe we don't, but come on in, don't be shy. Our next reader is Don Cummings. He is a critically acclaimed playwright whose numerous plays have been produced on both coasts. The Piss play is being produced this summer, 2009, at the New York Fringe Festival, and his play, The Fat of the Land, was a semi-finalist for the Kaufman and Hart Award for New American Comedy. His play, A Good Smoke, was a semi-finalist for the Eugene O'Neill 2008 Theater Conference, and is premiering at the Public Theater next weekend, starring Meryl Streep, Henry Wolf Gummer, Grace Gummer, and Deborah Monk. Very excited for you, Don. He's writing a memoir, Open Trench, from the blog of the same name. He is a graduate of Tufts University, the Neighborhood Playhouse, and a member of West Coast Ensemble. Here's Don Cummings.
Hey.